Mary Kay Cabot of the Cleveland Plain Dealer joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Mary Kay, what are you expecting out of Johnny Manziel tonight in Cincy?
Well, you know what? I actually expect a couple of big plays from Johnny. I expect that he's going to run around a little bit because you're always going to get some of that from Johnny. I think that John DeFilippo, the offensive coordinator, likes to take shots downfield, and Johnny has shown some success in that regard. So I think you'll see him throw the ball to Travis Benjamin deep, and I think Travis should be able to get behind some guys. I think Johnny will also try to find Gary Barnage in the red zone if they get to that point. So I think you'll see some fireworks. I think you'll see some mistakes. You might see a fumble, a sack fumble here or there. It'll be a little bit of everything.
So what do you think about his readiness as opposed to the last time he faced Cincinnati? Is it night and day? Is it a different guy?
Well, you know what? I think he's made progress since then. I'm not ready to say that it's night and day. My goodness, he's only attempted 50 more passes since then. It's not like in this year that's gone by, he's started 6 or 7 games. He's only started, 2 games since that night. So, no, I don't think it's going to be night and day. I do think, however, that, that he will, have more of a purpose. I think he'll be able to look out there and maybe, read his defensive keys, try to figure out, where the safety is and kind of know what he's doing that way. But I think these guys are going to do a really good job of trying to keep him in the pocket. And if they do that, you've got some tall defensive linemen that you're going to have to try to see over and throw over. So there might be some issues there.
Mary Kay Cabot of the Cleveland Plain Dealer joining me here. Now, with Joe Thomas being reportedly on the trading block and very close to maybe being traded to Denver, Alex Mack, another one. So if Cleveland is telling the rest of the league we're listening, why not go ahead and say we're going to try for the future and see if Johnny Manziel's our guy? Do you think it's possible he just plays the rest of the season based on the fact that the Browns were ready if the price was right to pull the plug on this season, Mary Kay?
Well, there's a couple of things at play here. I mean, they might not have much of a choice. We talked to Josh McCown the other day. He made it clear that these ribs aren't going to be healing in a few days or even a few weeks. So I'm guessing he probably has some cracked ribs, and I don't think they're going to be in any huge hurry to get him back out there. So, I do think that it might be Johnny Manziel time now for the rest of the season, possibly depending on what happens, especially if they lose tonight and then they go into Pittsburgh and they lose there. You're looking at 2-8 heading into the bye week. And at that point, it's really time to see what you have for the future.
Yeah, and what about the Lions just fired Tom Lewan, their team president, and Martin Mayhew, their general manager. Is there any chance something like that happens in Cleveland, depending on what happens the rest of this year, Mary Kay?
You know what? I don't see that happening, mid-season. I don't see it happening at the bye. But I could see changes at the end of the season. I mean, I think that Ray Farmer will have some explaining to do to Jimmy Haslam at the end of the season if Johnny isn't showing that, he's ready to be a starter, if Justin Gilbert, their number 8 pick from last year, isn't on the field yet, if Dwayne Bowe hasn't done anything, Cam Irving. I do think that Jimmy will kind of look at those things and try to make a decision.
So there is, in fact, for a 2-6 team, quite a bit on the line tonight, you would say, Mary Kay.
I think so. I mean, I think if you can come down here and win this game in the way that they did last year, I think it would go a long way towards showing Jimmy Haslam that, maybe they are on the right track. And if Johnny particularly plays well, then I think the whole organization would have some hope for the future and maybe attribute some of the losing to, some of the quarterback issues. So, yeah, this is a big game.
Mary Kay, I appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
My pleasure.
You bet it. That's Mary Kay Cabot.